Hey y'all. Y'all like my lashes? I don't really know how to put lashes on, so they might look a little crazy. But I tried, okay? I don't really know how to do my makeup either, but I tried. But anyways, y'all, as y'all can see by the title, this is a story time about, I don't want to say like I was going to be sex trafficked, but I don't know what was going on back then. I was young. I didn't know what was going on. This was before sex traffic was like heavy. Not no, I take that back. Not heavy, but this was a time where sex trafficking wasn't like too known like that. Like people wasn't really worried about being sex trafficked. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know what was going on. But looking at these videos on YouTube, that might have been the scenario or the case or whatever. But let me just get right into the story. So I was like, I want to say like 18 or 19 years old. So my best friend, she lived about 10 minutes away from me. So me and her used to kick it all the time. Of course, she was my best friend. But she always had her boy cousins around. Like she had a bunch of like boy cousins and their friends and everything. And we used to all party and kick it or whatever. So one night, it was like 9, I want to say like 9 o'clock at night, super dark, nobody outside or nothing, like, you know. So she told me to meet her at the park. She had a car at the time. I didn't. I was like 18, she was like 19. So she had a car and she told me that she was coming over. Well, she not coming over, but like to meet her at the park. So I'm like, okay, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I've been to the park at nighttime plenty of times. I know it's nobody there, but I forgot how dark it gets at that park. Like at a certain time, lights go off. So I'm like, okay. And then also at that park, there was like this big, it was like this big like light pole with a camera at the top. And if you go past a certain point of the park, like it starts like ringing or something. Like I used to be scared as hell, like why is this thing ringing? But so I felt okay. Like I'm like, okay, because I'm not gonna go past that light, and if I do go past that light or if something happened, that thing is going to go off. So mind y'all, I said if something happened, that thing is gonna go off. The camera, whatever, the alarm thing, whatever they had. So I wasn't scared. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll meet you at the park. She didn't say she was bringing nobody, and I wasn't tripping. Like, I'm just thinking, like, she's coming to the park. Me and her is about to go to the park and kick it. So I walks to the park. She says, when she calls me, she says, I'm almost to your house. No, she wasn't, y'all. It took her like 10 minutes to get there, like maybe even 15. It took her like 10 to 15 minutes to get there. So I'm standing there. The park is so dark, you guys. I'm standing in this dark freaking park. Nobody's around, no street lights, no park lights, nothing is dark. So I'm standing there for a while. I'm like, okay, she says she's almost here. So I think I finally sat down or something. And so I sit down, and next thing I know, I hear somebody behind me. So when I look behind me, it's two men. Y'all, it's two men behind me. It's so dark. There's no cars going past, nothing. Okay, so I'm like, okay, whatever. But the type of person I am, I'll get into that. But like, I'll get into that. So I hear somebody say something to me. I don't remember what he said, but I turned around and I was like, huh? I'm guessing he said something like, "Why, like what you doing up here?" or was, you know, something like that. Because when I said, "Huh," he was like, "What you doing up here?" So yeah, he was like, "What you doing up here?" or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for my friend, my best friend. She says she's pulling up right now, so I'm just waiting for her." So the whole time is two dudes, right? So it was a white dude and a Mexican dude. And they had on all black, and they had all black super long trench coats. Yes, trench coats. I don't even think it was cold because I think I just had on like a regular shirt and some leggings or something. I don't think I had on no jacket. I didn't have on no jacket, so what do they need trench coats for? So they got on these super long trench coats, right? Black, everything all black, shoes even all black. So I'm just like, oh, I'm waiting for my best friend. She says she's pulling up right now. So they like, okay. And it's getting kind of awkward because I'm thinking like, okay, she's going to pull up and save me. No, you guys, she was nowhere like near my house. As soon, okay, when I came to the park, I think I was standing up for like 5 minutes and then I sat down. So for another like 5 minutes, which seems like the longest 5 minutes of your life, they were talking to me like, and that was a long time when you're in that situation. And so it feels like forever. So I'm just like, I'm waiting for my best friend or whatever. She says she's pulling up right now, and it gets quiet and awkward. So the white dude is the one who's talking to me, and I think they both had like long hair. So the white man is the one that's talking to me. The Mexican man is just sitting there quiet with his hands in his trench coat. He had both of his hands in his pocket, and I'm like, okay. He's not saying nothing. He's quiet. He don't say nothing. He don't. I crack a joke or whatever. Like, so like I was saying, the type of person I am, I kind of like when I get nervous or whatever, I kind of like try to be funny to get myself out of situations, and that's what I did. So I don't really remember how the conversation went. This was years ago, but it gets awkward. It gets quiet, and then I guess I start doing my cracking my little jokes or whatever because it gets awkward. And so the white dude, he's like, kind of laughing a little bit. It's still awkward, but he's trying to laugh or whatever. The Mexican man ain't laughing, ain't cracking his mouth. He's just looking at me with his hands in his pocket. So I just keep making conversation so it don't be awkward. Like, it was just getting awkward. Like, and I was just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I keep trying to make conversation. And I'm looking at the Mexican dude trying to make him laugh too, and he will not budge. He will not budge. It was like he was ready for the white man to just say go or whatever they was going to do. Like, it was just like he was waiting on the signal. Yeah, like he was waiting on the signal. So I'm just like trying to just keep talking. And it's working, you guys, it's working. So I had to talk for, mind y'all, like 5 minutes. I don't want to say 10. I'm not going to say 10, but it just felt like that. Like, you know what I mean? When you're in that situation, it feels so long. So I'm talking my way and laughing my way basically out of the situation. And I guess it's working until my best friend finally pulls up. So then the white man is like, oh, that's for you or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm so relieved. I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's here. We're like, I'm relieved, and at the same time I'm still kind of nervous because I thought she was coming by herself. So they still standing there, but then her cousin, she had like all her boy cousins with her. It was like 4 dudes. They all started hopping out the car, and that's when I looked at the white and the Mexican dude, and they just had this little awkward look on their face. Like, so now that I think about it, it's like, was they talking to wait for my friend to come? Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I just said my best friend is coming. So that I don't know if I talked my way out of the situation or if they were just like, fuck it, we gonna wait till her friend come and have 2 girls. So all her cousins start hopping out the car. And when I seen them cousins start hopping out the car, I really felt relief. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. Like, because it's not just us 2 females, it's a whole bunch of dudes. So I started walking up to my homegirl, my best friend, and all her cousins or whatever, and they got a ball or whatever, and they like, what's up, bro? Everybody call me Roro. What's up, Roro? What's up? Like, talking or whatever. I'm like, hey. So they say what's up to the Mexican and white dude or whatever, and they say what's up back. And then the dudes who came with my best friend, her cousins, they start playing basketball and stuff. So they all into the game. Like, they just hopped right into the game. Like, they said what's up to the dudes, and then they start playing ball. And then it was like they remembered, like, the dudes. Like, where the hell them dudes go? Like, and why was you talking to these dudes? Like, it was just, the whole situation was just weird because it was like they hopped out the car. They said what's up to the men and start playing ball, and then they thought about it, like, the dudes, where they go? They was like, where them fools go? Like, and what was you doing talking to them? And so I explained the whole situation to them, like I'm explaining to y'all, that they just appeared. I didn't even see the white man and the Mexican man walk up. Like, okay, Cause I said my back was turned to him, but I think I was like facing kind of sideways to where I could see over here and over here, and they walked up from like this way. So I feel like I should have seen them, you know what I mean? But I didn't. And so they was, asking me questions. I explained to them, and they was like, and then it was like they just disappeared. Like they just disappeared, which was so weird. Like we like, where did they go? They were gone, you guys. Like we didn't see them dudes nowhere. Like I felt like they went in a field somewhere because it was a big old, parks be having big old fields that go miles and miles away. I felt like they went in a field somewhere. But at the same time, I'm like, how can they go in the field? Because that alarm go off. But I think you can, if you go to the edges of the field, like the backs of the field, it won't go off. Like just don't be next to the little camera thing and it won't go off. But I don't know, them fools disappeared and it was just awkward. Like, and when I went home and I told my mom about the situation, she was just like, are you serious? And you stay at the park? Like, but my mind, when you in certain situations, your brain don't process stuff like that. You could say, oh, if it was me, I'll do this and that and the third. But when you're in the situation, it's different, guys. And my mom was so mad, like, why didn't you walk away? Why didn't you go home? I guess my brain felt like if you walk away, or you know what I mean, that's when they gonna snatch your ass up. So yeah, guys, I don't know what that was about. They had on all black and they had on trench coats and it wasn't cold. So y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think that was. Was they trying to kidnap me and rape me? Sell me, sex traffic me? What? Like, at the time I felt like they was like on some raper type shit. Like they was gonna kidnap me and rape me or something like that. But knowing how the world is going and how freaking sex trafficking is so big right now, that could have been the case. But y'all tell me what y'all think, okay? That was like one of the scariest times of my life, because I felt like I talked my way out of the situation, or it could have been they was waiting for my best friend to have two girls. I don't know. But y'all tell me what y'all think was gonna happen to me. So yeah, that was my story time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.